This is Total Warhead, and in this video I want to showcase how to build envoys in a Total War Saga Troy. So envoys have different functions that they can fill. One of them is to boost up local resource production immensely. So if you look at standing passive here, we can get up to 90% total from wood production per turn while standing idle in local province, and you can actually switch this to extra 20% that we get from wood here to stone, and we can reduce construction time of all buildings in this region by -1 while standing idle. And also there's a skill that can reduce it by -1 as well when you're successful when acting on your own settlement. So this is one way to build them. Another one is, I couldn't change the name of this guy, seems like a bug, his name can't be changed. Another one is to both affect your own army statistics and enemy army statistics and prevent the enemy army from moving. So if you look at all these effects that we can cause to my own army, I can reduce how fast I lose stamina by 25%. I can gain 8% more AP damage for this entire army, 18% more campaign movement range on the map, a penalty of -10% to morale of all units in this army, a +10% to melee attack of all units, and a -25% to upkeep cost of all units. Note that there is also a trait that you can gain for envoys that can lower upkeep costs for all units by an additional 5%. Personally, I think that all of the envoys should have coward in order to be able to reach distant settlements as fast as possible. So, and also if you're going to use them in this setup to reinforce your own army and affect an enemy army, you can reach or have a higher potential to reach an army that's farther away. Note that you would lose, for example, Slave Trader, which gives 5% more to local resource production in this region, which could be valuable for a local resource based envoy. And you could argue that's the only trait that you should actually use instead of coward, because this envoy would just stay in a single area without moving to just boost local resource production as much as possible. The rest, definitely go for coward. The final way that I would build envoys is to boost up influence in own settlements and in foreign settlements. So say you're acquiring a province, right? You got 2 to 4 regions that you need to acquire in a province. Actually, there's one province that has only one region. Anyways, so before you acquire the province, you can inflict a +53 to influence over a province to help affect the local province, influence in the province in your favor. Once you start acquiring the regions, then you can get up to 93 to influence in this region and a -20% to construction cost of all buildings in the region. Note that this actually is +50 and +90 to influence respectively, because I have loyalist selected. Loyalist is fine and all, but it's +3, and I think this is best also to replace with coward, because look at this guy, he got seasick and he is affected negatively by -10% to this agent's movement range. Also note that it can cause a -10% to movement range when embedded in an army. So if you do embed them in an army, you gotta make sure that you select the skills to boost up your army's movement range, so you don't cause your army to actually move less because you didn't pick the correct statistics to boost up campaign movement range with an envoy. Now let's work through the skill selections across all of these envoys here. So if we go to the one that's for local resource productions, and you can just see here how much this is making. So this wood is giving me 2.3k in wood. If I were to move them outside of this region, this drops to 1,600. Doesn't seem like a lot, but say for example that you have a region that produces a mass amount of food. For example, this one here that produces 6k in food. A 70% increase in food production here is really astronomical, more than 3k actually per turn. And if you go to a region that produces a lot of wood, like the one that was above here that has 2 wood regions in it, then you can gain a lot extra wood produced in this region here by 600 more, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it actually is as you are playing the campaign and trying to gain wood, because you're normally running short on it. Mycenae is a place that also produces a lot of wood, so you're playing the Greeks. You can put somebody here to boost this up further. Also, when you play Ithaca, this is another great place to get resources, especially food. When I played my Ithaca campaign, I actually got the food production here to reach like 7-8k, something like that, and also increase the stone and bronze production. Another way that you can further boost up, before I look into the skills of this Envoy, the local resource production, or a region or a province, is to also recruit divine craftsmen. Is that what they are? Yeah, divine craftsmen. Because if you use this guy on an own settlement that is minor, you can increase the local resource production by 50% in that region. So you just keep stacking the multipliers. So if I got 2 wood regions here, 1 and 2, and then I pop him in these 2 regions here, then I get 50% more produced from these regions as they are of wood, and then that stacks with the extra multiplier of 90% here of extra wood production to really gain a lot more wood in this area. So going back to the skill selected, man, go back to talking about what you're supposed to be talking. So here, if we look at the skills that we select, we want to go for Suburbanite to get more success chance of agent actions at settlements. Then Homebody to get plus 20 to influence when acting on own settlement. Next, we go for Stargazer to really, like, we don't really care about the extra campaign win range here for host army. Oh my god, I think I talked really fast there. Sorry if you didn't understand a word I just said. I really want to go for Evasive, because something you really want to make sure you do with Envoys is to boost up campaign movement range as much as you can, even if they're gonna stay idle in one location, because you might want to move them to another place that is producing more resources. So the faster you get there, the less downtime you have before reducing how much you're making in revenue. Then you go for Dedicated Subject. This is one of the increases to local resource production while standing idle. And then here is Architect, that reduces construction costs of all buildings upon successful action on own settlement by 10%. So if we look here to own settlement, if I were to act on it, I can get up to a minus 30% to construction cost of all buildings. Continuing here, I go for Insider to get an additional 20 to influence over a province on a foreign settlement, and then Sharp Tongue to keep increasing my success chance of agent actions. Then I go for Common Tongue here because I want to get the extra 10% to local resource production, actually Common Touch, and also reduce my costs by 25% of agent actions against settlements. And then I go for Godless because if you look at how agents work, spies have bonuses to take out other spies. Priestesses can take out other spies, and envoys can take out priestesses and spies. So the priestesses and envoys have extra bonus multipliers to arrest the other 2 type of agents, while spies have explicit bonuses against other spies, which is kind of unique that they did it like that. But anyways, we go for Elusive here to reduce success chance of enemy agents against this agent. And then I wanted to select this one here because there wasn't really anything else valuable here, because everything on Precise was just bonuses when embedded in an army. So I go just for this here for Elusive, just to reduce enemy agent action success chance against this guy. Then I go for Statesman to increase my success chance of agent actions at settlements by 20%. And then here plus 20 with Politician to influence upon successful action on own settlement. Then Private Merchant to get 10% to all resource production, and then Tower of Power to get plus 20% to wood income per turn. Note that you can also go for Tower of Strength to increase your stone production. This is if depending on where you start on the map, you're gonna notice that you're gonna be either short on wood or short on stone. So if you start out on the northeastern part of the map, look at this. You're really gonna struggle with the amount of stone that you're gonna be acquiring in the campaign early on. From all these regions that are here, there is just one stone one in this corner all the way over here, and then the next closest one is all the way down here in this settlement, and then another one maybe, let's see, where's the other one? Actually, yeah, super far away. Maybe? I think it's one maybe somewhere around here. Yeah, all the way out here. So in this entire area, there's just 2 stone regions, but a lot of wood. This area up here is crazy good wood production, along with the northwest part of the map is really good for wood production. If you go for the southwestern part of Greece, you're gonna notice that the capital that produces the most stone is, or province that produces the most stone is the one of Thebes, because Thebes innately produces stone production per turn of 176 at tier 5, and you have a stone production settlement without a trade port, so you can get another magnitude increase of stone production. Mycenae is also great for increasing wood production here by 176, and then I think that's it. The rest of the ones I haven't really analyzed too much. So going back to the skills of this envoy, oh my goodness, I keep getting distracted. So if we keep going down, where was I? Yep, here. So next I go for Master Manipulator. So in case I do have to use him against any agents, even though he should be really in wards in my own settlement away from anybody, I can just go for Master Manipulator here, because the other ones here, let me see, plus 10% to action chance against agents, sorry, against settlements. Actually, I probably should have gone for this one. Let me see. Oh wait, I'm not really gonna act that much on my own settlements. Yeah, I mean, probably Ambassador is better in case you do want to reduce construction costs, so you do succeed. But if you do go for Messenger of Thunder and keep getting all these skills, it's very rare that I do see my own envoys fail upon acting on my own regions. There is a higher chance that they will not be successful against foreign settlements or armies. Aside from that, continuing, let me see, where was I? All the way down here. Statesman, like Traveler. Okay, here. Administrator. Here we get an additional 10% to local resource production and a -1 to construction time of all buildings and local region while standing idle. That does not appear over here. Then we go for Rhetorician to get more influence, plus 20 in on settlement, and then Haggler to lower construction costs by 20% in my own region upon a successful action. Then I go for Pertinacious, which is just like Cold-Blooded and the corresponding one for Priestesses. So if I fail in any action, I can just redo the action over and over. And then here I go to increase my local resource production even further by 20%. Finally, I just go for Perfect Friend in case I do have to do any actions against an agent. This is kind of, I pick whatever you want down here. And then of course I go for Immortal. Now, the next one that I want to showcase is how to build an envoy for armies. This is just crazy here. So first off, reduce a campaign movement range by 10% of a foreign army with advisor, and then I go for People Person to increase my success chance of agent actions. Then I go for Inspired Speaker, -5% to upkeep cost of all units in my own army, and then I increase AP damage with Words of Encouragement by 8%. Then I go for Erudite to reduce cost of all agent actions by 15%, and then I increase my own agent's campaign movement range by 12% with Deer-Footed. Next, I go for Deceiver to further decrease campaign movement range of the AI army by 10%, and then increase how fast the enemy army fatigues by 25%. If you notice here, I can reduce my own fatigue by 25%, how fast I fatigue, and increase how fast the enemy fatigues by 25%. That means that if you use two envoys together in one turn, one on a foreign army and one on your own army, you can cause a net difference of 50% in reduction to fatigue, for a battle, which is crazy, against an enemy army, not a settlement. Then you can do Charmer to reduce upkeep costs further by 5%, and then increase your campaign movement range of host army by 5%. You can go for Elusive to further increase your campaign movement range by 5% and lower the success chance of the enemy agent actions against him by 10%. For the upgrade, you go for Overzealous to increase your campaign movement range of host army by 8%, but you did get penalized to a -5% to morale of all units. This in the early game can be a very big penalty to take. Once you get to late game, your morale gets a lot of bonuses from all of the gods and bonuses from leveling up, so it gets really high in magnitude. Double Agent here further reduce campaign movement range of a foreign army by 10%, and then I lower the melee defense of all units in an enemy army by 10% as well. Like Traveler to increase my own agent's movement range by 12%, and then lower my cost of all agent actions against characters by 50% because the other one was kind of redundant to get. I'm never going to act on own settlements. Master Manipulator here, so I do get extra success chance against other characters, and I wanted to do this to get Listener to reduce the campaign movement range of the enemy by -10%. You notice that there's a lot of -10% that I'm acquiring to lower the movement of an AI army, and that's how you can get to -100% total movement, which is just crazy. Then Encouraging Companion is extremely valuable. This is how you get the -25% to fatigue of your units in your own army, reduce the upkeep cost of all units in your army by 5%, and then you can get Demanding to increase your melee attack by 10% at a penalty of -5% to morale of all units. The other one you can select here is Soft Warded, which does give you a +10% to morale at a cost to -5%. So it kind of alternates the penalties here, or what is penalized across boosted across these two upgrades. Next, we go for Cunning Guide to reduce the campaign movement range of a foreign army not by -10% but -20%. and also reduce the movement range of enemy agents if I ever act on them by minus 35%, and then I go for unforeseen to further boost my movement range by 12%. Finally, we go for, or pre-finally, we go for pertinacious to make sure that if I fail in action, you know, I can just redo it. So definitely I can be successful against a foreign army. And then I just went here for the extra local resource production, but I would say that it's better to go for accuser so you can get at least be able to do denounce treachery against an agent, and you can further increase the chance of arresting a foreign priestess with this. Finally, we go for Veil of Lies here, because Veil of Lies, where the hell is it? Lead Astray. I can make sure that foreign army actions never fail, so that is extremely valuable to go for. And then instead of going for Immortal, this one I was conflicted of doing, because making sure you go Immortal will really make sure that your agent is always alive. You know, there's no way that he can be killed. This is really valuable to have. But look at this. The Daunt here is the final minus 20% to make sure a foreign army cannot move at all. And you can cause a minus 20% penalty to battle speed of all units in a foreign army. This is an extremely huge penalty to cause. So it's give or take. Do you want to always make sure your envoy is there? Or do you really just want to make sure that the foreign army is basically cannot move at all and is a turtle during the battle? All right, and the last one I want to showcase is how to build envoys to maximize own settlement and foreign settlement influence. So we make sure he has coward as a trait, so he gets 10% more movement range. And then here we make sure that we go for, let's start at the top, Suburbanite to increase success chance of agent actions at settlements, increase influence in own settlement by plus 20 with homebody upgrade. Stargazer, we select it and then go for evasive to get more campaign movement range. And then for Erudite, we go for this one to decrease cost of all agent actions, and then Deer-footed to increase campaign movement range of the agent. Next, we go for Insider to increase foreign settlement influence by plus 20, and then Sharp Tongue to just make sure we get more success chance of all agent actions. Next, we go for Common Touch to reduce cost of all agent actions against settlements, and then we go for Godless so we can make sure we can do denounce treachery and potentially take out other agents, specifically priestesses. Then Elusive here to reduce success chance of enemy agent actions against this agent, make sure that he just doesn't get taken out. For Statesman, we selected to get plus 20% to success chance of agent actions at settlements, and then Politician to further increase influence in own settlements by plus 20. Like Traveler, I can get plus 12% to agent's movement range, and then Trustworthy to get minus 50% to cost of all agent actions against settlements. Next, we go for Ambassador to increase success chance of agent actions at settlements by 10%, and then Careful to further increase foreign settlement influence by 20 and reduce success chance of enemy agents against this one. We go for Administrator to increase local resource production, just, because the other one was for Embedded in Army, the Encouraging Companion. And then we go for Motivator to reduce construction time of all buildings in a local region while standing idle, so my economy increases faster. Rhetorician, we select this one to further increase influence in own settlement. And then here you can go for reducing construction costs of all buildings by minus 20% in own settlement. So as you do cause influence increase in your own settlements, you also reduce construction cost in it. Next, we go for Witty Upgrade and Remain Unscathed to get plus 20 to influence in own settlement, and then increase critical success chance of all agent actions by 10%, and just make sure he's never really wounded or killed before a critical failure of an action. I really don't like selecting this one. I prefer to go for Pertinacious, but I really wanted to get the Witty upgrade to really maximize the total influence that I can gain by up to plus 90. Finally, we can go for the Perfect Friend here to make sure that Deliberation never fails. So whenever I act on a foreign agent, I make sure that I do take him out, and then I am immortal. I didn't go for Lead Astray because I'm not going to use this guy for any foreign army actions, so I didn't see the point of selecting these options. So anyways, that is everything for the spies here. And in total, let me just conclude by saying that envoys are great for boosting up influence in your own region and foreign regions. Also reduce construction costs and construction time in your settlements when you do a successful action on own settlements. Next, you can also increase local resource production greatly with envoys. They also have bonuses with Denounce Deliberation to take out priestesses and spies. You kind of want to focus them on taking out priestesses more so than the others, because the priestesses and spies don't have bonuses to take out priestesses per se. And then you can also dedicate envoys to really cause big penalties to foreign armies and big bonuses to your own armies. Anyways, I really want to thank you for watching, and I sincerely hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.